Good morning or afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome back to HNM Story Time. It is so cold because it's November. What does that mean? Who has been picking pumpkins or jumping on some crunchy leaves or going outside and getting ready for Thanksgiving with the turkeys? I'm so ready for the festivities this month, but we have some stories to go through. So we've been learning about the Old Testament. That means the part of the Bible before Jesus came to earth. But we know everything is about Jesus. So all of our stories are teaching us more and more of who God is. So we learned about some interesting people. We learned about Adam and Eve and Noah and Abram, and then his name was Abraham, and then he had a son named Isaac. And this story is called Isaac Chooses Not to Fight. Who was he not fighting? Let's find out. The story is found in the book of Genesis, chapter 26, verses 12 to 33. Isaac needed to dig a well so his family and his helpers and his animals could have good water to drink. Isaac's helpers worked hard digging deep into the ground, shoveling and shoveling and shoveling and moving the dirt, and then water began to fill up the hole. They found a well. Everyone was happy except for Isaac's neighbors. They shouted, "That well is ours!" Isaac did not want to fight with his neighbors, so he just left. He said, "Okay, you can have it," and he moved on to another place. He told his helpers to dig another well. So everyone worked hard again. They shoveled and they shoveled and they shoveled and they moved the dirt out of the hole, and water began to fill up the hole again. But then Isaac's neighbors came again. It was this guy named Abimelech. Can you guys say that? Abimelech. Do you know anyone with that name? I don't. They kept shouting, "That well is ours!" Isaac still wanted to be kind to his neighbors, so they packed up and moved on again. He told his helpers to dig another well. That night, God told Isaac, "Do not be afraid, Isaac. I will always be with you." God's words made Isaac feel better. He felt comforted knowing that a big God was always with him. So he made an altar. He piled stones on top of each other, and he called them a place to remember what God has done, that God is always with him. Isaac's neighbors came one more time. Isaac didn't know what they wanted, but they told him, "We know God is with you. We see that you always find water to drink. You always find wells. So because God is with you, let's make a pact, a promise, an oath. We will not fight with you anymore. We won't hurt you, and you won't hurt us." Isaac agreed. He made them a big dinner, and the next morning they exchanged their oaths and they went on their way. Isaac was so happy. He was glad God had helped him to be kind. All right, Mr. Eli, what'd you think of our story? Isaac chooses not to fight.
I thought his neighbors were mean. They kept taking all of his water. He did all the work, and they got all the water. That's sad. Also, why is his name Abimelech? I don't know anybody named Abimelech.
Can you say that? Abimelech. It's a funny name. But at least they were able to work it out. Sometimes our friends are not always going to be nice to us, and we get to choose. Are we going to be mean back? If they hit us with a toy, we get to hit them back? You might want to.
No, don't hit back.
You might want to. But God said no. You are supposed to be kind because you love God. So Isaac kept moving on and kept doing all the work with his helpers, of course, until the guys figured out. Abimelech said, "You know what? I think you're special. I think God is with you, so we should be friends, right?" So what do you think about Isaac's oaths?
His oaths?
His oaths? Like oatmeal? No. His oaths. His promises.
His oaths. Have you ever made an oath before? It's like a promise or like a pinky promise. Like you tell your friends or you tell your mom, you say, "I'm gonna pinky promise that I'm not gonna do this, that, or the other thing."
Very important. Never break a pinky promise. So I don't know if Isaac and Abimelech made a pinky promise, but they did make an oath. They promised from their hearts in front of God that they would not hurt each other. So it's pretty big. So we can be like Isaac. We can choose kindness over fighting. We can choose peace, even when others don't want us to. So let's practice our verse that reminds us of our story. You can grab our verse sheet if you're in Sunday school, if you're at home. The first one, Isaac chooses not to fight. Genesis 26, verse 31. In the morning, they exchanged oaths, and Isaac sent them on their way in peace. All right, ready?
Yep.
Okay, I want to hear your voices loud and clear. Genesis 26, verse 31.
Genesis 26, verse 31.
In the morning, they exchanged oaths, and Isaac sent them on their way in peace. All right, ready to do it again?
Yes.
Okay. Genesis 26, verse 31.
Genesis 26, verse 31.
In the morning, they exchanged oaths,
and
Isaac sent them on their way in peace. Okay, ready to do it one more time?
One more time. Let's do it.
Genesis 26, verse 31.
Genesis 26, verse 31.
In the morning, they exchanged oaths, and Isaac sent them on their way in peace. So always remember, be like Isaac. Choose peace and kindness over fighting and violence. And also, when you make a promise or an oath, you gotta keep it. And remember, it's oaths, not oaths. But oaths are very yummy. Well, thank you for coming to today's HNM story time. Have so much fun with your snack and your coloring sheet, and we will see you next time. Bye!
Bye!